What's up, y'all? Doing a little late night welding. I'm gonna make this video touching on cheap Harbor Freight welders. Yeah. Here's your old review of a pretty old Harbor Freight cheap $100 welder that I've had for years now. I will say they are hit or miss. I've got a friend who's burned up a couple, but then again, he's not the greatest at welding either. My machine has given me very many troubles at all. Nothing out of the normal. Here it is. My little Harbor Freight Buzz Box. I think I gave $130 with a 2-year warranty when I first bought it. Made by Chicago Electric. You know, for what it is, it works. It is a decent welder if you know what you're doing. You know, if you have some practice with welding. I took a 1-year class for welding, so I kind of took right to it. But this is my first MIG machine that I've ever owned myself. And it has been a little bit of a learning curve, but I've got my machine dialed in, and it lays down some pretty decent beads for being flux core. And I've got my wire speed set about at the 5, somewhere right around there, where I like it. Run on high a lot of times. And the duty cycle, I have abused this machine every year for the past, I want to say, let's see, I got this machine before my oldest kid. She's about to turn 7, so I've had it about 8 years. And I have not been nice to this machine at all. This was the one right when they upgraded to the fan in the back. So it's got this huge fan, which helps quite a bit, and I really abuse this thing. There's times where I've spent hours welding. This machine should have burned up, like, very quickly, but it held in there and worked pretty good. I have discovered that the best wire that this machine runs, I have tried all kinds of welding wire. It does not like any of them, but that right there, Lincoln brand wire, 0.035. It really likes that wire. It's the best I've ever used. And I've tried all the brands, from Hobart to Harbor Freight to Blue Devil and a few other brands, and Lincoln's been the best. It's the only one that really throws a good bead down. I did have, I think it was last year. No, it's been a couple years, you know. About 2 years ago, I had a breakdown with this machine. I had to pull the side panel off, and inside on the transformer, one of the cheap ass connectors, it's literally just one of those little spade connectors. I think it's the female end that plugs in to the transformer. It's got a couple of wires going into that one terminal, and it plugs in, and it actually melted that terminal off. So what I did was take that terminal off, strip the wires bare, and soldered it straight onto the transformer. And it's been fine ever since then. My torch, yes, I have abused this. There's literally zip ties holding my torch together, because this thing's been abused. The end, I don't know where the hell the end went. These the tips, that part right there, that little barrel, are also Lincoln brand. I recommend Lincoln brand parts for this. The cheap Harbor Freight ends are junk. Step up, get the Lincoln brand. They're only, I think they're about the same price actually. If not, just a couple dollars more, and they work. I've got pack them sitting here. I think these are it. Yeah. I think these are it. Yeah, these are it. Don't go through them too often. As you can see, Lincoln brand for 0.035, and that's what I run. And it works. Works very well. You know, this machine's been going 8 years. Got a lot of hours on it. And it's still just a buzzing away. I'm building a push bar for that now. The old Gilson. Yeah. If you notice, this is on a custom cart now. And there's also a big 10-pound spool coming out of the back of it now. These are supposed to take the 2-pound spool, the 1 to 2 pound little bitty spools. I got tired of running out those wire because those things are expensive. I get the 2-pound Lincoln wire spools, or I used to. They're about 20 bucks a roll, give or take a buck or two. Well, 10 rows, that gets expensive after a while, because that, well, that's what, 5 rows? Yeah, 5 rolls, whatever. For the price of the same amount of those little bitty spools, I can get this big 10-pound spool way cheaper. This spool here, I got it for just under $50 for this big 10-pound spool. And all I did was I cut a hole in the back of the machine and ran it right in like it normally would. You know, I put some of this edging around there, plastic edging, rubber edging or whatever, to keep it from shorting out on the back of the machine, because yes, that did happen once. I built this bracket. And I built this little attachment. This original frame here with the handle, that actually used to be part of a pressure washer. And all I did was, you know, that's a lug nut off of a car, there's a washer, I just welded that stuff right on there to hold it. Then built this little contraption up here to hold the 10-pound spool. That's all that's to it. Very simple, works very well. I've got all my extra clamps and all now I've accumulated, which I do use. And it works. It's a decent machine. I would recommend them. They are hit or miss, I will tell you that. So get the warranty. Another problem I had. No, I didn't have no other problem, because I always ran this one off extension cord. I was thinking, that was it. That was the only problems I had, was that one terminal that burned up, and I resoldered it, and then the handle's a little wore out. You know, it's got a lot of hours. It's built several derby cars, a lot of tractors. It's what I used to build all my stuff with. Is this little buzz box right here. Money well spent. I'll give you an idea of some of these welds. These are fresh. I'm talking fresh. I just did these. And yeah. Yeah, there is a little bit of splatter. You know, typical with flux core, but really not too bad, because all that will literally just chip right off. Here. I usually take a screwdriver and just chip the slag off and chip all these little beads off. But we'll wire brush it just for shats and gaggles. Oh, I can't really grab that with this hand. My hand's still messed up, by the way. Can't really grab much with my thumb. There you go. Now look. That's a decent bead. Focus, focus. It might focus, probably not. They're not the cleanest beads, but they are. That one didn't get all the slag off. Look at that. They're not the nicest beads in the world, but they look pretty damn good coming from a cheap $100 welder. These welds will hold, and I put them through a lot of stress. They work. And this tubing here, this is 1/4 inch thick, and it's welding no problem. Well, it's just under 1/4 inch, I should say. I don't remember what the exact thickness was, but it's welded here to dirty metal. Welded just fine. Other than I set this tractor on fire, but whatever. But yeah, you just gotta be careful with sheet metal though, because it will burn through sheet metal. So, and it'll burn some pretty good material. And I did the roll cage in the derby car with this, and it holds. I wouldn't, you know, if it popped a weld on that, I wouldn't be surprised, but at the same time, it's held pretty well. Some of that thick material, you should use a much better welder. But this is good for your general purpose stuff, like these tractors. It's fine. Like I said, this is some real thick stuff here. It's the thickest 1x1 square tube you can get, which is the equivalent of pretty close to a quarter or something like that. Or I don't even remember. It's thick, pretty thick. Yeah, it's thicker than the frame on the tractor. It's sturdy. It ain't going nowhere. And yeah, that's not a bad weld. Now I'll come through and I will chip all these little pieces here off with a screwdriver, like this. It's literally all you gotta do. Yeah, there you go. And like these smaller little beads here, I'll just take a hammer and chisel them right off. They pop right off. Really easy to clean. And it's a decent bead. Pretty decent. It gets the job done, put it that way. I mean, I don't expect... See, that's a decent little bead there. I'm not expecting like perfection. Perfect beads or anything. But it does the job. You know, it works. So, don't be afraid to buy these. I did see a video earlier today where a pretty respectable YouTuber did a review on one of these. And to be honest, he didn't know what he was doing. He even welded with a name brand welder. Gas welder. And his beads didn't look, you know, they looked about the same as the cheap Buzz box. They didn't look anything like the welds that I'm doing. They were pretty splattered, so yeah. You know, he gave it a pretty bad review and all that. I have no doubts in this machine. Once you get used to how it works and the quirks it has, it's a pretty decent machine. They are hit or miss, though. They are hit or miss. Some are good, some are bad. Typical Harbor Freight stuff, so get the warranty. But don't be afraid to go out there and get one. They're cheap, and it will work. So, yeah. But there you have it. My little review on the Harbor Freight welder. You know, my welding setup. Eventually I will get a Lincoln brand welder. I'm looking at one, but it's about $500. So until this machine craps out, I'm not going to be getting the other one yet. Eventually I will, but not for a while, as long as this machine's still chugging along. Yeah, there you go. Later, y'all.